Please give a warm welcome to Keith Blaney. Every day at lunch, the tall man in the dirty work shirt walks into the all-you-can-eat buffet-style buffet bowling alley restaurant at the bowling alley. Walks over to the jukebox, hits the button with the number, then the button with the letter, grabs a beer from the bar, sits down at a table alone, and listens. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. When the song's over, he gets up from his table, walks over to the jukebox, hits the button with the number, then the button with the letter, then does the whole thing all over again. And again and again and again. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. The fucking animals. Over and over and over again. House of the Rising Sun, 3 or 4 times a day, every day. That fucking organ solo. What the fuck is going on, man? Why so sad, huh? Why the long face, Mr. Ed? This crosses my rather selfish 16-year-old mind rather often. In June of 1982, at the Cloverleaf Lanes, the ye olde Irish bowling alley, just a few miles up I-95 from my house in North Miami. I come this close to just sitting down at his table, looking him right in the eye and saying, "You want to know real sadness, Mr. Rising Sun? Just guess which Cloverleaf Lanes busboy dreamed all junior year about going to a 6-week super cool summer high school acting theater thing in Chicago, but instead got a shitty letter in the mail politely saying no, and that he's the alternate. And now all summer long, that same Cloverleaf Lanes busboy gets to clean endless piles of smelly plates of half-eaten mashed potatoes and gravy at an all-you-can-eat Irish bowling alley buffet-style restaurant just off I-95 for the first half of his workday. Then teaches 6-year-old kids how to bowl for the second half. All while you won't stop playing House of the Rising Sun on the jukebox. Which busboy, huh? One guess, Mr. Rising Sun. One guess. Then, same as every day, Mr. Rising Sun pays his tab and leaves without me ever asking him why he's so sad. And without me ever telling him why I am too. I slop the last of the lunch potatoes in the garbage and make my way out to the bowling alley, ready to teach America's next great generation how to bowl. I've never taught anything to anybody before, ever. But besides, how hard can it be to teach a bunch of 6-year-old kids how to bowl? So far, 3 weeks and smooth bowling. And all I do is bend down for 1 second to help one little adorable bowler girl tie her little adorable bowler girl shoelaces. I turn my back for 1 second. And when I turn back around, one 6-year-old kid is holding a 7-pound bowling ball over his own head with a huge smile on his stupid face that says, "I'm gonna do it." As I reach out to stop him in a total all-encompassing vocal and physical no! He does it. He does it. He drops a 7-pound bowling ball on his own head. And he's out. Cold. I'm sure he's dead. Quick thinking, I run to the snack bar to grab as many bags of crushed ice as I can carry, because I decide right at that moment that no stupid 6-year-old kid at my bowling alley summer job is gonna die on my watch. About a minute later, when the little boy comes to, he opens his eyes, looks at me, suddenly realizes he's the 6-year-old kid that dropped a 7-pound bowling ball on his own head, then screams bloody fucking murder till his mom comes to pick him up and take him home. Driving home that afternoon from the Cloverleaf Lanes, driving home in my 1971 Mercury Comet that used to belong to my Uncle John, the trumpet player from Philadelphia, driving home from the abbreviated bowling clinic that almost ended in child murder, or negligent homicide, or manslaughter, or kid slaughter, or at the very least an unflattering photo of me in my green polyester bowling shirt in the Miami Herald the next day. Driving home, I am starting to think that a career in bowling, or bowling education, or any education for that matter, just might not be in the cards for me. Later that evening, in the middle of dinner with my mother, the phone rings. I'm sure it's the bowling police. My mother answers, listens for a moment, then holds the receiver out in my direction and says dispassionately, with a suspicious look in her eyes, "It's for you. It's that acting program in Evanston, Illinois." That's when I hear, "Hi, Keith, hi, yes, this is such and such at the National High School Institute at Northwestern University. And yes, well, it seems that one young man has unfortunately come down with quite a nasty case of red, scarlet, typhoid, dengue, river fever, and won't be joining us. And since you're the alternate, if you'd still like to come to the acting program, we'd love to have you for the summer. Feel free to take an hour or so to decide, then call us back and let us know. Okay? Okay." I sit back down to dinner with my mother, and we barely look at each other, and neither of us say a word. We both know it's going to cost my parents a little chunk of money to send me, and I'm afraid. I don't want her to feel bad if we can't afford it, but I want to go so bad. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know I want something to happen. Something to save me from a summer of mashed potatoes, bowling, and murder. I take an introspective ride on my bike around the block a few times to clear my even more garbled than usual adolescent brain. When I walk back inside, my mom's in the exact spot where I left her, still sitting at the dinner table. She pauses for a minute, then says, "Okay, you can go spend the summer in Chicago if you still want." I clear these dirty dishes quicker than I ever did the ones at the bowling alley. Say the biggest "thanks, Mom" either of us can ever remember. Then I call them back in Chicago and I tell them I'll be there. And something really happened. And I get to have that summer. That summer on Lake Michigan. The summer when they call us all cherubs. Because every cheerful morning over breakfast, they read to us from this book of poetry called The Cheerful Cherub. It's the summer of Greek tragedies and second cities, movement classes and Bertolt Brecht, Dr. Frankenfurter, and Joseph, and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's the summer of nail guns and bunk beds, Trojan Wars and glass menageries, sewing machines, and next-level stand-up comedy with truly original jokes like, "We were so poor, how poor were you?" were so poor, at Christmas time, we'd all gather around to decorate the branch. It's the summer when 11 years of Catholic school are almost completely undone in less than 45 minutes. By a tiny little one-act play by Christopher Durang called Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All For You, starring my acting teacher that summer, Laura Innes, who would eventually go on to save countless fictional lives, overcoming her pronounced fictional limp on television's hit medical drama, ER. It's the summer I get hit with a Tupperware bowl. A can of peas rolls across the stage and hits my foot, right before I get hit with a golf ball during a production of True West starring Gary Sinise at the Steppenwolf Theater. And I know at that exact moment, I know what I want to be. It's the summer I fall in love, and I fall hard. For one perfect summer that almost wasn't. It's everything I thought being an actor was always going to be, all the time. And kind of would never exactly be again. Like a murky silhouette of something perfect from a couple of decades before the last that was almost never really there, but you're so grateful it was. Even if only for the most fleeting of moments. And on one of those days when I'm at a Toyota audition, at a strip mall, in the valley, with a permanent laminated sign out front that says no actor parking, with fake buckles on my shoes, a vaguely Ben Franklin looking costume shop powdered wig on my head, naked from the waist up. It's one of those days when I retreat to an Irish bowling alley somewhere deep inside my mind, walk over to the jukebox, hit the button with the number, then the button with the letter, grab a beer from the bar, sit down at a table alone and listen. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I can listen to that organ solo forever.